Hello, my dear students. I am Priyanka Kuri, your science teacher, and the chapter that we are discussing today is heredity and evolution. Okay, so in the last class, what we have learned is that we discussed about that evolution comes with inheritance. Okay, so in order to understand evolution, we must know what is inheritance and genetics. Okay, so that we have discussed in the previous classes, and then we discussed about origin of life, like how life was originated on earth. So it was JBS Haldane, a British scientist, who said that life originated from inorganic compounds. Okay, so he just gave a theory, but later in the year 1953 there were two scientists, Stanley L Miller and Urey. These two scientists, they conducted experiments mimicking the atmosphere of the earth, uh, previous atmosphere of the earth, and they found that uh, life originated from inorganic compounds. Okay, so this is what we have discussed in the previous class. In today's class we are going to discuss about speciation. Okay, so what is speciation? So before going to speciation, let us try to understand what is a species. Okay, so a species is a group of organisms with similar characteristics and can interbreed to give fertile offspring. Okay, so what is a species? Species is a group of organisms with similar characteristics. That means they have similar traits and they can interbreed. Interbreed means here it means that they can reproduce among themselves. Okay, so a group of individuals with similar traits that can reproduce among themselves is called a species. Okay, and speciation is an evolutionary process of formation of new and distinct species. So the process of forming new species is called speciation. Okay, the species evolved by genetic modification. So this species, that new species arise due to genetic changes. Okay, the new species are reproductively isolated from the previous species. That is, the new species cannot mate with the old species. Okay, so the new species that is generated after genetic variations cannot reproduce. Okay, cannot reproduce with the previous species. Okay, so this is what is your speciation. Now let us try to understand how the speciation takes place. Okay, so there is a genetic flow in each subpopulation brings variation. So there is a population of individuals. Okay, and there is some genetic flow. Like they are reproducing and it is creating variations. Okay, after that what happens is that these variations are naturally selected in each subpopulation. So whenever there is a population, they reproduce and they generate variation. These variations are then naturally selected in a population. Then what happens is that these variations combined with geographical isolation. Okay, when the variations get combined with geographical barriers, then what happens is that there is change in DNA and number of chromosomes. So the DNA changes occur and also the number of chromosome changes. Thus, it results that the germ cells of the two groups cannot fuse with each other. It means that the germ cell, that means they cannot reproduce with one another. As a result, new species has formed. So this is how speciation takes place. Okay, so due to reproduction there is variations. These variations are naturally selected in a population, and together with geographical barrier. Okay, together with geographical barrier, DNA changes and the number of chromosome changes. As a result, the organisms cannot interbreed, and thus new species are formed. Okay, clear? So this is how speciation takes place. Now let us understand what are the factors affecting speciation. The first one is your geographical isolation or geographical barrier, you can say. So it is caused by various type of barriers such as mountain ranges, rivers, seas, etc. Okay, so because of this mountain ranges, river and sea, the population are divided into different area. So that is your geographical isolation. It leads to reproductive isolation, due to which there is no flow of genes between separated group of population. So whenever there is geographical isolation, that means when two populations are divided due to some geographical barrier, these two populations cannot interbreed. As a result, there will not be any flow of DNA in them, and hence they become reproductively isolated. Okay, so when they are reproductively isolated, they leads to the formation of new species. The second one is a genetic drift. Genetic drift is caused by drastic changes in the frequency of particular genes by chance alone. So whenever there is a drastic change in the genes, in the frequency of genes, that means whenever there is a drastic change in the number of genes by certain accident. Okay, so it is not natural, it is by accident. So whenever there is some drastic change in the number of genes due to some accident, genetic drift occurs. And genetic drift with changes in the gene flow imposed by isolation mechanism acts as an agent of speciation. So when this genetic drift, okay, when this genetic drift combined with geographical isolation occurs in a population, it leads to speciation. Okay, clear? The next one is your natural selection. So natural selection is the process of selection of characteristics which contribute to the fitness of the survival of species or organism. Okay, so natural selection is a process where those organisms or those characteristics are selected by nature which contribute to the fitness of the organism. So these are the factors that affect speciation. Clear? Now coming to our next topic, which is your evolution and classification. Okay, so what is this evolution and classification and how they are linked? Okay, so let us understand it. So similarities among organisms allow us to group them and then study the groups. So we know how we classify organisms or how we classify anything. In order to classify anything or any material, we need to find out the similarities among them. Okay, similarly, in classification of organism, we need to find some similarities among organisms, and then we divide them into group and then we study the group, right? Now, so what are the similarities that we found? I mean, like, what are the similarities that we look for? We look for certain characteristics. Okay, so what are those characteristics? Characteristics are details of appearances or behavior. In other words, a particular form or a function. For example, that we have four limbs is thus a characteristic. Suppose characteristic is any feature or any trait. Okay, suppose we have four limbs, that means we have two hands and two legs, that becomes a characteristic. Suppose a plant can photosynthesize, that also becomes a characteristic. Okay, so characteristic is any detail of appearance or behavior. Okay, some basic characteristics will be shared by most organisms. So all the organisms share some basic characteristics. Okay, so that basic characteristics would be our cell. Okay, because all living beings are made up of cell. Okay, so based on that, since cell is the basic unit of life, so based on that we can classify organisms into different groups. And about these groups we have discussed in class 9. Suppose we have these organisms can be classified as prokaryotes and eukaryotes based on the difference in their nucleus. Okay, so if the nucleus is present, it is eukaryote, and if the nucleus is absent, it is prokaryote. Okay, now in eukaryotes organisms can be either unicellular or multicellular, right? So unicellular is those organisms that have only one cell, and multicellulars are those organisms that have many cells, right? Now multicellular organisms can have cell wall, okay, and they can be without cell wall. If they are without cell wall, they belongs to the group of animals, and if they have cell wall, so it can either perform photosynthesis and or it cannot perform photosynthesis. If it cannot perform photosynthesis, then that becomes your fungi, and if it can perform photosynthesis, then it becomes your plantae. So this way in we can classify organisms, right? This is what we have studied in class 9, but here we need to link evolution and classification together, okay? So the more characteristics two species will have in common, the more closely they are related, okay? So if there are two species and if they have common characteristics or common features, that means we can say that they are very closely related, okay? And the more closely they are related, the more recently they will have had a common ancestor. If they are closely related, that means they will have common ancestor, right? Okay. Now for example, consider you yourself and your brother or sister. You and your brother and sister will have many similarities with you because you have common ancestor, that means your parents. But if you compare yourself with your first cousin, then you will find that you have more similarities with your brother or your sister than with your cousin, because here the common ancestor is your grandfather, okay? So since the more closely they related they are, the more common they have ancestor. And if they are not very closely related, that means they will have ancestor, but that will not be like very recent, okay? We can thus build up small group of species with recent ancestor and then supergraph groups of these groups with more distant common ancestor and so on. So in this way we can build groups of species with recent ancestors and then another group with distant ancestors, okay? Thus a hierarchy is developing that allow us to make classification groups. Now, tracing common ancestor back in time leads us to the idea that at some point of time, non-living material must have given rise to life. Okay. Now, if we make these groups of having common ancestor, then we will develop a hierarchy. Okay, hierarchy of classification, okay? And when we like trace this ancestors, common ancestor back in time, we will see that at one point that this life has originated from non-living thing or non-living material, okay? So this is what we must understand, that the more if we classify organisms and if they have similar characteristics, that means we can say they are closely related and they will have common ancestor. If there are two organisms which have different characteristics, okay, that means they are not closely related and they have distant ancestor, okay? So this is what we have studied in today's class. Let us try to recall what we have studied. So we studied about speciation, that is, it is the formation of new species, and the factors that affect speciation are geographical isolation, genetic drift, and natural selection. Then we discussed about evolution and classification. So that's all for today's class. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next class.